What's happening, folks? Right, I thought I would just come on and make a wee video here because of the time of year it is. It's coming into the cold winter nights, dark nights. It's already getting cold in the house. You know what I mean? The prices of everything are going up. People are living in debt and danger. People are struggling to decide whether they can leave their heating on or whether they can go and do shopping or food shopping. Now, I heard a story about a girl getting into the shop a few weeks ago, about a month or two ago, sorry. This young girl went in, she had two small little children, getting into the shop and asking for £3 electric because she's skint. Do you know what I mean? And some generous soul who had more money than she did give her £20 for electric. So we need more people like that in the world. But it broke my heart even thinking of it. Some poor girl struggling to get by as it is, with no money, getting in and asking for £3 electric because she's skint, because she can't even heat her home. She probably has to decide whether she has to heat her home or use the electric or cook food or buy food, or do you know what I mean? There's people getting it tight out there as it is because of these corrupt bastards in positions of power. So, also, what came to my attention last week when I was driving through Warrenpoint town on my bike, I seen and I hardly ever see any homeless people in Warrenpoint, but I spotted these two people late at night, freezing, and they were selling the big issue, trying to get money, but it wasn't the foreigners. I noticed that they weren't. I noticed their faces were from here, right? I noticed right away that they weren't foreigners selling the big issue, because some of them are corrupt, but I would still throw them a few quid anyway, do you know what I mean? Because, hypothetic, do you have to lower yourself to beg on the streets for money unless you're really struggling? So sometimes I don't believe the stories that all these foreigners are corrupt that are lying on the streets begging for money, but apparently they do have to hand some of their money to their bosses or whatever who are rich. So it does put you off. But these guys, this fella and this girl, they were sitting at two separate parts of the street, but I noticed that they weren't foreigners. So I went over and chatted to the fella, gave him whatever I had in my pocket, about 15 quid between him and his wife. Now his wife was over chatting to somebody else. But I sat and talked to this guy for about an hour and a half, and my hands were numb on my bike. My hands were numb, freezing cold from starting talking to him. But he was a very lovely fella, and he was very wise. He was tuned into the corruption in the world. He knew what way the government's operating, and he knew the system is about to collapse and it's about to get worse, and people are going to be struggling, and there's going to be more homeless people on the streets. So whenever I got speaking to this guy, he was telling me his story, and he told me he's been homeless for years, and he says he was struggling to pay his rent. This is why he ended up homeless. He was working in Sainsbury's. He was struggling to pay his rent, to put food on the table for his children. He couldn't pay the rent. It was either pay the rent or buy the children food. And he ended up out on the streets. Once he ended up out on the streets, the social services got involved with him and his children and kidnapped his children, took his children off him, right? Because it says it's not safe for the children to be living on the streets. Instead of housing him and his wife and sorting them out so that they could sort their kids out. No, fuck you. You can stay homeless, we're taking your kids. So they took his kids off him, right? They gave his kids to this big rich family out North Down, County Down. Now, they're from Dublin. He gave his kids to this big rich family out in North Down somewhere. And North County Down. And these people are a wealthy family, right? So this guy says to me that he's lost. He thinks he's failed his kids. He's wondering what his kids are thinking of why he couldn't provide for them. And he says, but meanwhile, he got his kids kidnapped off him by the system and given to a big rich family, wealthy family that are already set up. Meanwhile this is going on, this rich family is getting paid thousands and thousands and thousands every year for having custody of his 3 children. So in his mind he said he was going to me, why the fuck can they not give me the money? Why could they not give me and my wife the money to help our children, to support us, to give us a home so that we could provide for our children? We were cast aside and our kids were stolen off us and handed to some strange family. Now I can't judge this family because I can't point the finger and say that they're corrupt or what type of people they are. But I asked a fella and he says he's not sure what type of people they are. And he's very weary of them. And he also says that he was at one stage there, he was allowed to speak to them 12 times a year just on the phone. 1 hour on the phone every month, 12 times a year. He says, nah, it's been cut down to 6 times a year. So this is what's happening all over our country. Your government, there's corrupt bastards at the top of this government that are stealing people's children and handing them to fucking strangers. God knows who these people are. Now some of them could be good, but some of them could be bad. Some of them could be corrupt and fucking evil. And by my judgment on this, if I had custody of somebody else's children, those children are wondering where their father and mother is, and I had custody of those children, I would let the mother and father come up to the house and see them anytime they want, or let them come and visit them anytime they want, maybe let them take them out for the day or whatever. No, I wouldn't be saying no, you're only allowed to speak to them 1 hour, 12 times a year, and then cut it down to 6 times a year. So this is the shit that's going on in our government and we need to do something about it. So this is what sparked an idea in my head. Once I heard about that story of that wee girl going into the shop with 3 quid, trying to get electric, with two wee children with her that she probably can hardly even fucking feed. Then once I get speaking to that fella and what's happening with his children, this is happening all around the fucking country, folks. So we need to get something arranged, right? There may be a protest for the homeless or whatever. This is what I am trying to think. I want to try and start up a fundraiser here, right? Now, in a few days' time, I'm going to Bosnia on a pilgrimage for 4 weeks. It's only a tenner. It's only costing me a tenner a night. It'll probably cost me cheaper to live over there than it will over here. But the prices of fucking everything, the prices of food, the prices of gas, electric, oil. Do you know what I mean? So it'll cost me cheaper to live in Bosnia for 4 weeks, but it's a pilgrimage, it's a holy retreat. I'm going over with my mum and a group of her holy friends. I think there's about 15 of them going. So I'll be praying every day, do you know what I mean? I'm not going on a holiday to enjoy myself, but I suppose I will be enjoying myself with righteous company. But once I go over there, I'm going to try and raise funds. I'm going to set up a fundraiser here. I've already set it up there, but I haven't published it yet. And there's a mountain. There's a mountain over there. I'm going to climb to the top of it once a week. So 4 times while I attend there, the highest mountain in Medjugorje, to try and raise funds for homeless, right? But once I get back from Medjugorje, I'm going to do... Now, I had planned there to do a full month on the streets and get a few people together. To camp outside Belfast City Hall. To try and get a bit of a movement going. Try and get all the homeless people together. Gather them all outside the City Hall. Get a campfire on the go. Maybe a bit of music to lift their spirits and get people to send them money so we can get them tents or sleeping bags, food, barbecues, campfire set up. Maybe tables and chairs or whatever, to get all the homeless people off them wee corners that are sitting by themselves, get them all into a group together outside the City Hall and make a bit of a protest out of it. And because I know for a fact, if we're standing there, a couple of people with a fire lit, bit of music on, lifting their spirits, getting them all livened up, rather than lying on the fucking corner by themselves, the cops will probably come. The cops will probably come and go, oh, you're not allowed to light a fire here. Well, listen, we're going to expose it for what it is. We're going to demand your rights. You have a right to survive in fucking blistering cold. not only does it heat you up, it lays in their spirits to stand around a fire. So, something like that I have planned when I come back. Now I have a few people there that says they want to do it with me, but I was going to do it for the full month, but a few people says just a week or whatever. So we'll maybe start off a week in Belfast, then move to a week in Derry, then Dublin or Ballymena or wherever would have said. So that's the plans, folks. I'm going to try and get a team together once I get back from this pilgrimage. I'm going to camp out for the first week. I'm going to try and do it for the full month, but I want a few people to do it with me for the first week at least. And I've got a few people there, so. But what I'm asking is if there's anybody else wants to join, to come out and help the homeless, to help gather a crowd outside the city hall and make a bit of noise. We don't need to make a bit of noise and interrupt anybody. We're trying to live in these people's spirits, trying to get them together and trying to make a statement to what's going on. Let the cops come and try and arrest me outside this city hall for lighting a fire. There's a wee fire. I've got wee fire pits out there to collect the dust. It'll make no mess. It's be like a big dustbin fire to keep us all warm. We all stand together, get the tents out, get everybody to donate the tents. Donate money for tents, sleeping bags, food, clothes, chairs, tables, so we can all sit together outside the city hall. And if the cops want to come and tell us to move, then we'll make a bit of a statement from there. Do you know what I mean? And expose them for what they are. Because they're not, the government are not trying to help the homeless. Do you know what I mean? There is 180,000 empty homes in the Republic of Ireland. 180,000 empty homes in the Republic of Ireland, but yet there were like 18,000 homeless people on the streets, many of them children, and these children are getting took off their fucking parents and given to strangers because of the homeless crisis. There's paedophiles going on in that system, and I know for a fact, so I don't trust it one bit. So, but there's 180,000 empty homes, all bought out by the bankers. The bankers have bought these homes out, and our people are left to fucking lie and rat and die on the streets. Many of them getting their kids took off, and then they're resorting to fucking taking drugs and dying on the streets. So these people are killing our people through this corrupt system we're living in. So this is what we need to do. We need to maybe get a team together to get this kicked off again, to get something starting up outside the city hall. Coming up on the run up to Christmas here, so I'm away for a full month on this pilgrimage, climb these mountains, maybe try and raise a bit of money for coming back to get this thing set up, and then that's it. I'm going to try and do the full month on the streets. I would do more than that if it goes well, if I'm not left on my own, if a few people want to come and join me. So listen, something needs to change, folks, and a movement needs to happen. And I think it needs to start off outside Belfast City Hall, and then we'll take it to Derry, Ballymena. Well, I will go down and camp outside Dublin too, but that's not our government down there, do you know what I mean? So, we'll keep this for the people at the north, the Catholics and Protestants. Both of us are suffering at the hands of the fucking system. Both sides of the divide. Do you know what I mean? Why are we all fighting amongst each other? We've all got the same enemy here. Your corrupt politicians on both sides are fucking yous over. The soldiers out the big greedy, evil corporations and the bankers are fucking dancing all over the people. And they have done for years. So, listen, that's just a wee promotion video. I'm going to get this going the whole length of time over in Medjugorje to try and raise a few quid. If anybody has a few quid, I know everybody's struggling, but send a donation through to the link that I'm going to put above this video. Whatever you can, folks. There's some people that can afford it, some people can't, but a couple of quid will do, do you know what I mean? We're just going to try and get something started outside the City Hall. Get all tents, sleeping bags, sleeping gear, and build it from there, folks. Do you know what I mean? If the cops want to come out and try and stop us, they'll be exposed for what they are, because we're out trying to help the people. What the fuck are they going to do if they come and try and contradict us for sparking a bit of fire in these people's hearts, to get them all warmed up, to warm their hearts and their spirits on the run up to Christmas? Maybe a wee bit of music on, folks. Wee bit of fairy tale of New York, you know what I mean? On the run up to Christmas, to lift these people's spirits, because people are dying on them streets, freezing to death, drug overdoses, everything. Your government do not give a fuck because of the dualistic system. It's fucking terrorizing society. And everybody knows it at this point. Everybody knows your government are dancing all over us at this stage, and they're bringing society to its knees. They're sucking out the resources of society. They're making the rich get rich and the poor get poor. And there's an evil empire that are still controlled. All the evil emperors of old are still here, and it's all about enslaving the people, weakening us and empowering themselves. So that's it, folks. If anybody can donate, if anybody can join, more so than donate, if anybody can join on the 1st of November, we're going to get this arranged for the first week in November. Then, if it goes good, we're going to move, maybe, we'll keep it going, but maybe move to different towns on the run up to Christmas. And get the videos out there, get people's attention. Do you know what I mean? See if it sparks a fire in other people's hearts to say, right, we need to get out and do something, or we need to help here because society is at fucking breaking point, you know what I mean? So, that's it, folks. Anybody wishes to participate, hit me up in private message, folks. God bless.